now. If not, we're going to take it and we're going to end up with a high invade composite. Matilda, open up. Alpha, Cho, Alpha, High Loss, those types of heroes still open.
This feels very similar to the last time that they met. Right? And last time around, Egypt also didn't take the bait. They didn't go for the Alpha in the jungle. They went in for the export in the jungle, but it didn't work out for them.
The things have changed as well because the Suyo is something that Indonesia likes to pick here. They like doing jungle XP here in this slot right here, 1 and 2. So I'd reckon it's a pick for Fumi Echo and for Vival. Do they go Alpha X? Do they go Alpha Lead? Alpha High Loss?
Yeah, those were the ones that we mentioned. Joe still open for Vivian if ever, and you already figured out. So let's High Loss. Oh, listen, don't even High Loss. We'll go ahead and pick up a Ling.
Alright.
That's not the Alpha.
Yeah, it's very surprising.
Technically, could you... Like, the Alpha's good against the Ling, right?
Yeah, but this one, this is confidence by Indonesia to think, yeah, you don't need the Alpha. Go ahead and put Vival on your Ling. Which is aggro, but then up against... Then that's sheer confidence. But Tilda has risen up on the counter to Ling. So the reasons why Ling has fallen off. And if ever Indonesia that will be a Fumi Echo pick in the high loss, they can still pick up the Cho here to sort of be more aggressive, help the Ling farm at the same time, temper the rotation of the Matilda and Alpha. I would want to see them pick up a mid laner now, but they might default to just go something like the Moscow, as most teams usually do on the blue side, blue 2-3, they go Moscow, but I want to see them contest the Chinny pick. Now they go for gold, but it's the Harith instead.
I think this is in efforts of protecting the gold lane, given that in the previous bout, Names had to play Clint, and I'm not sure how comfortable the Clint is in the bigger metagame. They'd rather, you know what, we have the strong rover in Matilda. Let's give it our all, go hard with the Harith.
This is Names on the Harith, right? Names is one of the main pillars, I would say, to Egypt and their composition. She also has a lot of heroes in her arsenal, and she's very skilled with it as well. So I'm not surprised that the Harith does come through. Very strong. What do Indonesia want to do next? Do they want to go for the Angeline combo?
Look, yeah, they do.
Okay.
Go ahead. Who needs Joe when you can go Angeline? So there's a mid lane Angela.
Supposedly.
Probably is. Because if ever it's Rome, High Loss, mid Angela, it's okay. XP High Loss, Rome,
yeah,
Joe,
Vivian has the Joe, Vivian has the Jawhead.
Yeah, so many.
It also has the Angela.
All of these are good targets for the Angela to still go into. Much damage still on the receiving end.
Yeah, I will be surprised if they do go Rome Angela, but then they could just get a mid laner that cooks very well with it. So if ever it makes up Matilda cry, because you can't even get close, you're just going to get hooked down by 2 mages, and you are a support Rome. So Indonesia will take away the Gacha, one of the favorite picks of Egypt, not just in the Rome, could also be played in the XBL, but only 1 game there. By the way, this is going to be the first series, or first game that we're going to be seeing Harith for Egypt. This is the first time they're playing it. Clint is actually their most picked. And they've shown 1-1 Melissa and Nathan. So this is a debut for this tournament.
Yeah, I'd reckon that last phase Clint is eventually what Names would always end up with. So they got away with a 4-1 record off of a Clint.
Yeah.
So you couldn't say that that's not comfort, but I'd say this is a strong start for them. They want to get the tempo, get the momentum going.
Yeah.
One more ban for Indonesia. I'd say they clamped down on XP lane choices here. Do they want Drizla? They want to block out the Drizla?
Guys, I think it's also important to note that this Alpha can be flexed for Egypt.
Yes.
This Alpha can be flexed into the EXP lane for Velvet as well.
You'll have a record of that. So if ever suddenly Indonesia's going to meet the swerve of, if they don't have a strong single target lockdown, that Egypt might end up with an assassin. If you have the right spacing for it, I wouldn't be remiss if they end up picking like a Nolan.
Or an export. Velvet does play the export.
Yeah. If we see a tanky frontliner for Indonesia, then that has to be an export. Yeah, I'm sure they might have to show it, or just go for gold now. If they gold later now, don't show the tanky front. Then they can go big export if ever.
I agree. I think that would play with their level of flexibility for Indonesia right now. Because even if, let's say, this Angela goes Rome for Vivian, City can pick up something like the Ruby. You know, like, there's just so much layers towards the composition of Indonesia and the players and how flexible they are with their respective roles and heroes.
Yeah, no one's picking Eve just yet. There's a chance we might not. Everyone might say it here for Indonesia more than we do for Egypt. Indonesia have the link, Angeline plus a high loss. Eve isn't that comfortable with that. But Indonesia having an evil actually slot well for them, but nope. Can't Jenny her Lunox. It's aggro.
Or Chell.
Or Chell still could also be a Chell pick.
I still have a stronger feeling that this is a mid lane Angela.
But if ever they go roam mid Angela Lunox, that's not already the right recipe for poke.
Yeah, then you try to get out of the lane phase as soon as possible. We've seen that done with an Angeline lineup yesterday by Cambodia.
Which might be the case as to why Indonesia banned the League. So that Egypt won't have to worry, Indonesia won't have to worry about that coming out from Egypt and then having more presses over the Highlands.
Yeah.
But now for Egypt, what do? Do they go for Aurora, Vexana in mid lane against the Hylos?
I like the Aurora a little bit better. You get that second life. Something about Aurora just to me. I like it. But I would have done the Vex. Still would be great. CC. Ooh. Okay, isolation. And ooh, a Sicilian. So,
Very brave.
Yeah. A signature. 1-1 for Egypt without hero, but they give insurance if ever things don't go off the Harith and Alpha.
I think it's a link though.
Yeah, that's one problem I have. This is going to be a super clutch Purify and Matilda escort for the Sicilian. Definitely got to play babysitter.
Well, before the COD and you get like a comfortable time, maybe early might be a bit difficult, but after mid to late, I'm not that worried about the Sicilian against a Ling. Ling will always have easy access, but the moment he pops Bats Feast, the Ling will start thinking twice, even with the Angeline combo. But then at that point, Indonesia just need to respond and go forward. So they last pick
style. They might be trying to mirror the movements of Egypt to try to get some dubs on the other side of the map.
We're going to find out exactly what sets into place here. Again, a best of 3 at the upper final for now. Team that wins this will We'll be obviously moving on to the grand final spot. Taking a look at the emblems. Once again, you know, you see the war cry here for the Ling. This is expected. Vival wants to get momentum going earlier on. And when you have City here with the fact she's got the hard guard to provide for that, once that level 4 comes online, it's going to be kind of devastating for Egypt to deal with. So hopefully they have enough to kind of keep things under control. Looking at their lineup, you know, especially we've talked about this hero so much throughout the tournament here for the WEC, and it's the Sicilian. The Sicilian, I still feel like we haven't seen it hit its ultimate form. You know, like that final form that you see with the Sicilian where they have stacks out of the mines, and they're able to go ahead and actually provide a lot of defensive capabilities later on, or how they start things up.
Yeah, good move in the mid lane actually here from Cini. Instead of the usual just shove always up against the mid lane, here against Nucci, she knows just exactly how much pressure Nucci can have in the game if she continues to just stack up. So Cini's actually been in the wave to shove back towards Indonesia earlier, building a bit of a freeze, out-trade, and now forcing Nucci back to recall.
Okay, you know, Miracle, we saw this combination, I think it was just yesterday, the Angeline combo, probably one of the more well-known, I would say, combinations of heroes that you see in competitive MLBB. All right, they get that out. So City's really threading the needle here, by the way, you know. But, you know, how do you feel about this? Do you think this is enough threat early on? Actually, maybe go for it. I hear it.
Yeah, a bit more damage there. Guiding Wind gets her out, and Sunlight will be rotating over to the mid lane, and yeah, it'll just be some respect over. Nucci low, force back a bit, just a bit.
Turtle's going to come up here just now. And again, this is why they didn't actually press that any further. They know the timings here. They're going to go ahead and get the purple buff secured for Vival first. Vivian, not level 4 yet, but she's still holding on to the Revitalize, and that's going to be crucial in this first objective fight. Egypt will start things up. Again, always this first turtle where some of the level 4 ultimates aren't available. Can turn a tide, just a battle spell alone. There's no Revitalize for Egypt, so they'll keep Vivian busy here.
All right, Thompson revitalized as well. Vival walking up with a hard guard too. It's gonna be first blood over, but Sunlight's very, very low. Vival not using the Temp of the Blades just yet. Fumieko getting the vengeance now. Temp of the Blades to the back, finding two. Oh, getting all the blades down, but the circling eagle will connect and knock her up. Cini all alone against 3. Flicker used up from Cini, escaping away from 3 members. Nucci wants to get the final bat impact. Cini, one last shot, and Cini is able to survive, but it's a big win for Egypt.
That's a huge win this early on for Egypt right now. Talk about the team fight that they were able to go ahead and dissect really well. They want to still contest this turtle, though.
Well, Spear of Alpha over to Vivian. She is able, though, to actually reset the turtle, so that's already a win. Vengeance used up by Fumieko. An interesting initiation, going back in with the Vengeance now once more. Getting 3 stacks on everybody. Velvet is outplayed, though, and that is a retry steal from Sunlight, winning it out. Vivian taken down to Egypt, 5-1.
I was saying, you know, that was a great fight for Egypt before all that broke out. Well, it just got even better because they even got the turtle in that, so again, they take nearly everything. They get themselves a good 2,000 gold lead against Indonesia. This is a massive win right now, early game for Egypt. They'll go ahead and utilize this. And mind you, we were talking about the Sicilian. I know you need a lot of time to build up on this hero. You got to get the stacks. Well, when you get 3 kills early on, you're well on your way here for Nucci.
And now it gets real interesting, Naisu. Indonesia are the ones behind in the early game. We did say this in the draft, right? Technically for Egypt, they do have just a better early game composition to control neutral objectives. But the fact that Indonesia haven't been utilizing what we were talking, or what we were speculating in the drafts, which is just trading on the map, utilizing the kill pressure up top for the Lunok versus Herod matchup. Spear of Alpha onto Vivian from Sunlight, the glorious pathway a bit late, but the Revitalize gets her out just barely. Nucci getting the last few hits from the DOT of the Bat Feast.
Nucci's on fire right now, man. I mean, they're gonna actually go ahead.
4 kills on Cecilia.
4 kills already. They're gonna put enough pressure here on the top side too. Vival's gonna join the fight though.
All right, jumping onto Sunlight. Spear of Alpha used up already. The blades will be there for Vival to pick up the blades, and it will just be respect over from Egypt, circling Ego defensively. 30 seconds for the next neutral objective, so still a lot of time for Egypt to recover.
Yeah, they can recover from this. They maintain that lead that they've gotten themselves, though, so setting themselves up pretty well for this next turtle, too. Taking a look at the items real quick. You got the first ones locking in. You know, you already have that battle axe there, too, the war axe available. Some of the first items still coming to place. Another one, Picked up now by Velvet. Looks like she popped the Vengeance. Whoa. Off
Solo.
camera too. Yeah, solo kill. So still, they know that Names is down. Turtle's up here. Indonesia might want to go ahead and put some pressure. That orange buff nearly there and available for Vival, but right now it's Egypt with the lead that they have. They'll start the objective. Vivian, given that information, waiting for this Revitalize to be available too. Good item pickup for Vivian. She has the Flask of the Oasis. And they'll back off a little bit. They don't want to overcommit to this because even with the lead that they have, some of these items falling into place, Egypt could still have a devastating fight against Indonesia for this turtle. As they take their time with it, looks like neither really wants to contest. Good starting side for Names. She's going to be part of this fight too. That's huge.
Final slash already used up onto Sunlight, but she's still holding on to the turtle. Now the glorious pathway into the back. Vivian gonna be caught in Spear of Alpha, melted down to strictly Eagle too. Vival will just go straight to the turtle. Now as Vivian will be taken down. Vival looking to go in the midst of it all, finding some of the blades to actually knock up Sunlight, but will not be able to get rid of anyone. The Flask of the Oasis from Vivian saving Sunlight and getting them back to safety.
So good. Again, you know, Vival jumped in with a Heart Guard, maybe to try to get that, you know, retribution off in time, but Sunlight does it. And then they go ahead and punish Vivian. Vivian's had a difficult time on this Hylos, you know, 4 deaths now, really having struggles to actually look for a way where they can cut off with the Glorious Pathway or initiate a fight. And like you mentioned, that was why that power spike with the Flask of the Oasis was so big. You know, you pick it up this early on, provide some of those extra shields to your team. And even with that, now glowing one in the hands of Nucci, who's already having a massive game. And this is interesting, the damage at leaderboard, Velvet on top, that's just crazy because again, we were talking specifically about those last 2 picks, the CC and the Sicilian, and Vengeance has been causing havoc against this lineup from Indonesia.
Definitely see that it's always just delaying them. That's why we were talking about this in the draft as well. Nice, so when we saw the CC, we like the CC pick. It's
We did.
Great. Against the lane, you're able to control the side lane and actually just hold your own in that 1v1. So Vivo won't really be able to actually go in all the way into the bottom lane alone. Mumieko, a fat spot, forced to
Finish that they have right now, and they'll start up this first turret.
2-man final slash. Ooh, good stun over to Velvet. Still with the Vengeance, though, able to survive. Vivo going back in again. Forced to Finch poise out as the Curtain Call catches her. And for Indonesia, they can't really go for these openings now. 11 seconds with the purple buff. Egypt do not want to go and invade.
So here's the thing, you know, when we look at this, like, where is that time? Is there a certain time where Indonesia's lineup is actually, oh, they're going to make a play on Shell, I think. Get the Brilliance out. That's good enough for Egypt. But when is the timing, especially now that we see this, you know, having a Lunox. Lunox has been pretty good so far, I feel like, overall in the tournament. Where's that timing for Indonesia here to actually make this lineup shine?
I think the timing has to be a bit later on when Vival gets the 3-item power spike for the lane. Same goes for Chell too. They really have to wait on a few of these items, man. They're not really the early game heroes that we are used to seeing from Indo. That's why we're already saying that this is a completely different strat from Indonesia, playing into mid to late instead of the normal control early game and win it out. But for Egypt, they're working with what's simple. And so far this tournament, we've been talking about this, mentioning it, just foreshadowing it too. Simple works.
Simple works right now. They're going to just go ahead and start up this Lord. Vival will make her way down. They might force a fight before it breaks out. Wow, Velvet already popping that. There's the Glorious Pathway.
Oh, wow. Also the Spear of Alpha used up Vival. Jumping in the midst of it all. Velvet doesn't have the Vengeance anymore. They're going to go in for the assassination. Cindy finds the kill. Names popping his on force in as Vival goes in for the fine place to escape. One last shot from Names. The fadeaway finds her. Mumieko caught. Now the Spear of Alpha displacing her. Going for the stuns and the Vengeance resets. Nucci trying to go for a bit more damage. Cindy will try to tie her up now as that's going to be Chell again in the backline. He's waiting for the time. Goes in and dives with the Chaos. Finds another. And it's a big shutdown for Mumieko. Names into the versus the world on the Zaman Force. But it's the Brilliance from Chell to outplay Egypt in that skirmish.
That's what we call some high IQ right there. Shell waited so patiently on that side of the map, even though, you know, Egypt saw, hey, we got Vival down, that's great. We still have our jungler, then all of a sudden, Indonesia just finds a way back to just turn things around. And so they'll get that mid turret down. They got the Lord, they got a whole bunch. And even looking at the items here, you know, this is where we start to see it. Like you mentioned for Vival, she's now got the Haas Claw, she's got that Berserker's Fury, right? She's got a little bit of her own sustainability, and then you put on top of it, you have the Heart Guard, they made a play, they caused some chaos against Egypt, and I really felt like it just kind of was too much. They were a little bit overloaded with what Egypt wanted to do there after killing Vilvil. Now, they're gonna have to deal with these turrets going down as they push top and bottom. Lord should be worked with pretty quickly, but a glorious pathway will force out the Spear of Alpha, and right now Indonesia might look to make a play to knock on these base turrets. They still have the Holy Shields. Oh, Fumieko.
A bit too deep for Fumieko, forced to flicker out. Holy defense not proc just yet, good job, but finally it actually does still get baited out. Bivol in the bottom lane with Cine together, getting the tier 2. Overall, not a bad defense at all from Egypt. They keep the turret tier 2 in the mid lane intact.
You gotta remember.
But there you go.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you gotta remember the power spike timings here for the lineup from Indonesia. This is what you were saying earlier, Mirko. You know, it's gonna be a little bit longer, and now that it has been, and they just had that previous team fight, they're in a much better fighting position. The fact that they got some shutdown gold too from Nucci was great. Shell picks up that Holy Crystal. So what we saw her just do, you know, jump on in and burst someone down so quickly, that is now a big threat to Egypt, and why the next Lord that comes up in about a minute is going to have to be approached a little bit differently. You know, this time around too, you can still, if they can actually go ahead and respond to that pressure that Indonesia lineup give them, then that's going to be the best case scenario for Egypt. But right now, this is probably, what, the first time in the game where Indonesia's had a minor lead in terms of gold, but ultimately Egypt's still in good fighting position. You know, we can't count that out. They're still able to go toe-to-toe. The stacks are still building here for Nucci. So when we look at this Indonesia as they get ready for that Lord, it's more so, can Egypt actually find anything else around the map, or do they just kind of get ready, like prep things up for this Lord take?
I guess we'll just have to see, right, for Egypt. The thing is, once we get into the later stage of the game, we were already kind of expecting Indonesia to take a bit of control as they get their power spikes, but they did that before even a Holy Defense. Oh no, Velvet, this time with a vengeance! It's her all alone! It's a circling eagle from Fevin, a flicker and a guiding wind too. Good moves from Fevin to escape, but no CC now. They're actually still trying to go in. Brilliance forced out a shell. Respect over from Indonesia, and they will actually concede a tier 1 turret in mid lane.
All right, Velvet goes down. It could have been way worse. You know, Vivian, good thing she actually flickered, so she didn't go down either, but it looks like even with that case, Velvet will be back up for this fight by the time it starts up. Indonesia will try to get the advantage they can. Spear of Alpha defensively. Vivil?
Heart guard.
Ow, okay, I'll show. Heart guard's already going to be used. So now Name's picking up a Holy Crystal herself. She's locked and loaded on this Harith. And Indonesia respecting the same thing. You know, a lot of just kind of respect on both compositions here because they know how important, you know, some of these key ultimates are, like the Heart Guard. It's not available right now, so you might as well stall out. Velvet getting a little more defensiveness, picks up a Radiant Armor. Gonna be big for her, especially because, like you said, those Holy Crystals now available shell. Sunlight again gonna jump out, but that's such a low cooldown on the Spear of Alpha that it won't really matter for now. And this is where we have to look, you know, managing across the map here for Indonesia. That's why they're going to plant Cine up there. Nucci's going to jump in a little bit on Fumieko.
Okay. It's just going to be the Revitalize from Vivian. Heart Guard hovered over as well. So it's a resource burnt from Indonesia there by Egypt. The Revitalize is down. Now the question is that enough for them to go and commit onto the Lord? And the answer is no, not just yet. They still have to get much more than that, because the Angela, Cine, is constantly on the other side of the map, just clearing it out and slow pushing it back to Egypt.
I feel like this is one of those games too, you know, where because of Egypt and their lineup, they can't really put any pressure cross map. You know, they have to be together for the most part, whereas Indonesia can play around that. That's usually what we've seen them do in the past, where again, they can put one hero or one member on that far lane if they want to, put some pressure there and push into it. And the great thing about D'Angela always is, yeah, you just show up, you know, Heart Guard into the fight.
There we go.
That's why they'll give it a go. They'll go ahead and start this up. They got the information. 2 members from Egypt went down. They're going to fight.
Okay, going on to Nucci. Nucci going to be caught very low. Takes the blades and the final slash, but it's actually a bit of a bad synergy there. As Vivo was all alone in the back. Still, though, Chell disintegrating the HP bars. Able to get 1 member. Nucci is down. Now Name's looking for an angle to go for the flicker play. Goes in with the dash. Chell is still there, getting melted down by Velvet, but the ceiling is just too much. Spirit of Alpha catching the booming echo, the final slash connects on the names of Vivel is coming in for the cleanup. He's caught all in the midst of it all with the Zaman Force, and she will be taken out. A 2-for-1 Nucci for Vivel and Foamy Echo. That's an Egypt win.
That's an Egypt win, but it looks like Indonesia might not want to just let this go freely. I don't know what they can do, but just watch it get taken. They're going to drop it down.
Hard guard coming down with Spear of Alpha from Sunlight. Now as the Brilliance used up, Sunlight with the Retribution winning it now. His Names goes over to Zaman Force. Shell with the damage. It's going to be enough. No, Names just bursts her out. It's a shutdown and a double for Names.
A massive, massive win. Back-to-back fights for Egypt. And Indonesia, you know, we don't see that often where they make a little bit of miscalculation, but that final slash, especially earlier on, might have messed things up a little bit in that fight. So now Indonesia on the defense. They do have quite a bit of power here in the items that they have. They should be able to make quick work of it. But still, Egypt has been really controlling a lot of this game so far. They're showing that they're able to go toe-to-toe in the fight. Wow, look at the damage on Vivel. This is where Nucci really starts to shine with those stacks.
This could be an M angle. Cindy and Chell have just now respawned, but they've already done enough damage. Sunlight going in deep with the Spear of Alpha, does have the guiding win and will be able to pop it in time as Nucci continues to just dish out some damage. Names in the bottom lane, or uses his Mon Force, forcing out the types of plays. Sunlight, Spear of Alpha jumping in, unable to connect there. Vivian very low, circling Eagle. Also help her it out. Now the base wide open. They're going to go for the targeting down. Names is still on it, but the minion waves. Just one cannon minion, which was still there.
Wow.
WEC24.